Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week. We also bring pro wrestling and lots of other stuff as well, but mainly football, of course. It's Thursday Tier Talk. I'm flying solo tonight. I'm on my own. Darren's out trick-or-treating with the kids, and I think he's attending a Halloween party and all that kind of stuff. So just me tonight. So strap yourselves in. Should be a bit of crack. So if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, all the usual good stuff that we look for. Hit a like on the video as well. So important. The like button right down there. Kill the chat in. Hit the like button back into the chat. All good. We have a full show for you tonight. We're going to be doing a Premier League preview. We'll take a quick look back at the Carabao Cup. Of course, we're going to be talking about the sacking of Eric Ten Hag, the hiring of Ruben Amorim, and Ruud van Nistelrooy in between. We're going to be talking about the October nominations for Player of the Month and Manager of the Month. We'll go through that as well. We'll take a look back at the Ballon d'Or and the reaction that's been to Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or as well. We talk about that. Premier League preview, beat the Bookie. We're going to take a look at the preview for the League of Ireland this tomorrow night as well, the culmination of it as well, of the league ends tomorrow night. So we do have a great show for you tomorrow night, kicking off at 7:30, folks, as well. We will have a live watch along for the both games, the key games in the title race. Shamrock Rovers and Tallaght Stadium versus Waterford, and Shells travelling up north to Derry City. Both teams needing the win. Shells get the win, they win the league. Anything less, and if Shamrock Rovers beat Waterford, then the title will be staying in Tallaght with Shamrock Rovers. So we'll bring you all the key action from that and the drama as it unfolds. And we'll keep you updated on all the other matches as well during the night as well. So we've got a little watch along for you tomorrow night. Double watch along. Shamrock Rovers and Waterford, and Derry City versus Shells, where the title will be decided between these two games. So as always, make sure you have that bell notification hit so you know when we go live. It's our first kind of official watch alongs, if you want, but we thought with how good the League of Ireland has been this year that it deserved it. We don't normally do watch alongs on the channel and stuff like that, but we'll have a bit of fun tomorrow night. So make sure you join us for that, all you Irish football fans near and far. So let's start. Let's get into, first of all, let's have a quick look back at the Carabao Cup. Last night, what a fabulous night of football it was last night. And I don't know about you guys and gals. I was talking to our WhatsApp group last night, Darren and the boys and stuff like that, and I was thinking, what a joy it was to watch football again without VAR. That, like, you could celebrate the goals, you know, and I'm sure other people will come in and say, yeah, but there was other issues. There was. I mean, you could argue that Anthony Gordon on that 2-footed tackle probably would have seen a red if it was VAR. And if he seen the red, would that change the dynamic of the game? Would Newcastle have gotten through, or would Chelsea have gotten through with Newcastle down to 10 men? Who knows? Who knows? So those kind of decisions, yeah, they're the ones where kind of VAR gets involved mostly and stuff like that. But, you know, when your team scored last night, you were able to jump up and celebrate and go, yeah, we got a goal. And you're not waiting with this anxiety for some message to come through to go, oh, some guy shouldered some guy 3 minutes earlier, so it's ruled out and this kind of thing and all. So it was really, really nice to be able to just enjoy it last night. So there to run down through the results. Tottenham with a big win over Man City. Man City picking up a number of injuries again last night as well. So it'll be interesting to see for the Premier League at the weekend who they're able to field and stuff like that. Lots of teams at the moment, isn't there? Lots of teams suffering with injuries at the moment, right down through the Premier League, especially the top six, if you like, or the traditional top six, really getting a lot of players injured at the moment. And we called it, didn't we? We called it literally no off time in the summer, playing in the Euros and the Copa America and whatever else that was going on, the Asian Cup and all these kind of things. And they just got no time off at all. It's crazy. And then they come in and it's full pelt in the Premier League, no downtime, and then you have multiple international breaks again, players traveling all over the world, far and wide, and then back playing football. So is it any wonder they're picking up these injuries? You know what I mean? And we did call it a long time ago that player welfare is certainly something that's very much in the back of people's minds at times, and it should be to the forefront. But we'll run down through the results, starting with Tuesday. Southampton 3, Stoke 2. Brentford getting through on penalties against Sheffield Wednesday. Went all the way till the 10th penalty, and the Sheffield Wednesday player stepped up, and it was the commentators' hoodoo again, wasn't it? I think the boy's name was Harris, was it? The lad who was been at Sheffield Wednesday, now they were saying something like 16 seasons or something, and the commentator said as he walked up, he says, if there was anyone you'd want to be taking this penalty now, it's this guy. 16 seasons or something at Sheffield Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. Takes the penalty, keeper saves it, Flecken, I think it was, saved it, and the rest is history. Brentford went through absolutely crazy, and the scenes were unbelievable, but heartbreaking for Sheffield Wednesday. Brentford pushing on. Daz is in, big up Daz. What's the crack, Niall? Where's Dazzler? Dazzler is out with the kids. It's Halloween, so he's out trick-or-treating. So if you hear any noise in the background as well, a lot of it is fireworks going off and stuff like that, but hopefully you won't hear it. But if you do, that's what it is. Then we get into Wednesday night. What a platter of football we had last night. Goals coming from everywhere. Tottenham 2, Man City 1. Timo Werner cropping up with a cracker of a goal. Preston against Arsenal. The one that stuck out, the Kai Havertz header was a phenomenal goal. Then Newcastle beating Chelsea 2-0. Chelsea with a couple of chances, but they didn't take them. Playing a much changed side as well. Newcastle picking up the win after Chelsea beat them at the weekend. Chelsea had bet them 2-1 in the Premier League. So yeah, it was interesting. And then we had Brighton, of course, and then we had Brighton again at the weekend at Anfield. So interesting. Manchester United 5-2 against Leicester City. Leicester City were really poor last night. Really, really poor. I know they had a couple of chances. I think Samara hit the bar as well when it was 4-2 to make it 4-3, I think it was. But the goals they gave away to United some of them were absolutely shocking. The one that Bruno just walked in basically and tiddled it around the bar, around the post, I mean. But 5-2, United looked like they were free-flowing again. They looked like they were energised again. There was a lot of happy faces on the pitch and stuff like that. And you have to ask yourself, how come they weren't playing like this before? Some of it they were saying was down to training, that Ten Hag was absolutely running the guts out of them in training and stuff like that, and that Rude didn't do that. I don't know whether that's the case. I think these players, their relationship with Ten Hag had ran its course regardless of what they tweet out and stuff like that. They looked a totally different team last night. We will get into talking about Ruben Amorim and his appointment and what that means for Man United later on in the show. You can give me your thoughts whenever you want. So then we had Aston Villa going out, crashing out the Crystal Palace 2-1. Essay. Unbelievable on the night as well. Aston Villa. Unusual, not a great result, and probably lots of changes there as well, with a big game coming up at the weekend as well. So, and then Brighton 2, Liverpool 3, and the Cody Gakpo show really. And when we made the changes, it kind of flattened out a little bit, so to speak. And the Jarrell Kwanzaa, you have to fear for him as well. Two mistakes. One a pass, a straight pass went to Brighton. And then the other one, of course, a deflection coming in off him when it should have been a block. But that kind of rounded out the games. But a platter of goals last night, and some really, really good goals as well, and interesting results. So then we went into the Carabao Cup draw. Big up, Romy. How are you, my friend? Want to get your thoughts later as well, Romy, on the Ballon d'Or and stuff like that. What your thoughts were on and stuff like that. We're going to reflect on it. But then we got into the draw, and of course, Tottenham Man United. Probably the plum draw of the quarterfinals. Arsenal Crystal Palace, all London. Newcastle versus Brentford, and Southampton versus Liverpool. Liverpool with a trip to St. Mary's in the quarterfinal. So we couldn't have asked for a better draw. No disrespect to Southampton. I kind of thought that maybe Chelsea might get through, and we'd end up drawing Chelsea again, or meet Chelsea in the final again, or something like that. But interesting draw, and we'll see how it goes. So we keep on going anyway, and then we push on into the Premier League game. Romy thinks he can see Newcastle winning the Carabao Cup. Can you? I don't know. Are they playing good enough? Are they? I mean, they beat Chelsea the other night, but you know what I mean? You looked at it after a while. How disinterested were the Chelsea players? It was kind of weird, and I don't know whether that was by design, or it was just the way the game ebbed and flowed. But they very uninterested in this, which is kind of weird because it's been important to them over a number of years, especially getting the finals and days out at Wembley and stuff like that. You can't beat that for the fans in February, But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't know. We're hardly thinking Tottenham, are we? Hardly thinking Tottenham. Could be interesting. I wouldn't rule out Brentford either yet, Thomas Frank has them well structured and stuff like that, but we shall see. But that's a roundup for the Carabao Cup. Now, let's talk about this. We got the player of the month and we've got the manager of the month to talk about. Let me know what your picks are in the chat. Who are you going for? I was talking to the boys today on the WhatsApp group. Mainly they were going for Chris Wood, and I think they were going for Nuno generally. Some went for Chris Wood, I think, and Fabian Hurtzler. I thought Brian Mbeumo. So I picked out Brian Mbeumo. He has scored a lot of really, really important goals for Brentford in the last month. And came up and he was clutch the other day as well in the Premier League, scoring that late goal. And I definitely went for Fabian Hurtzler. I think Nuno's doing a fantastic job at Nottingham Forest. But I think Hurtzler coming in, being so young, not having that experience, and going into a team as well, that again goes through this continual change and stuff like that as well. I went for Fabian Hurtzler. Now, you could easily make a case for Nuno. As a Liverpool fan, I could make a case for Slot. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to go that route. I think Hurtzler, I think what he's done at Brighton is absolutely exceptional, the way he has them playing and stuff like that and all. And I just think Mbeumo, for me, I know Chris Wood has scored a lot of really good goals as well and has looked awesome at Forest and all. So it's horses for courses and stuff like that. I'm a big Brian Mbeumo fan anyway. You're going Chris Wood and Nuno for you. But Slot has been cooking, so I could see Slot winning. Don't think so. I think it'll either go to Nuno or Hurtzler, to be honest. I think Nunes or Jota start next round. Hopefully Jota. Hopefully Jota's back, So, but I think we're gone now. I mean, that's it's not till we're into December for that, aren't we? If what I can remember. Yeah, it's December. So yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Who do you think takes player of the month and manager of the month? I'm going with Mbeumo and I'm going with Fabian Hurtzler. That's my picks. But again, there's no denying the job that Nuno's doing at the moment. Niall, don't get me started on the Ballon d'Or all riot. We have to talk about it. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts on it. We will talk about it. Listen, look, we'll get in and we'll talk about it now. Let's get it done. It's for me, I've said it on a number of shows, that, my pick, as in it, and it was nothing to do with whether it's Real Madrid or Man City or anything like that. I just think Rodri's a phenomenal player. I also think Vinny Jr. is a phenomenal player. But I don't know. I just think, I think regardless of how disappointed you are, or regardless of how, imagine how disappointed Lewandowski was, I think I get your point on Carvajal. But I think Carvajal was much further back, wasn't he? And listen, I've bigged up Carvajal on this a number of times. I told people when we were covering the Euros in the summer and all, the amount of times I spoke about Carvajal, absolutely incredible player and stuff like that. And I get it. There's arguments there and for, and there's arguments for Vinny Jr. and there's arguments for lots of this stuff. But then when you see people coming out and the argument is about, race, color, or creed, that's where they kind of lose me then, you know what I mean? Because I just, we know how contrived this Ballon d'Or is, and everyone has a view on it. I spoke about the Ballon d'Or before. I just find individual awards are weird in a team environment and stuff like that, because let's be honest, Rodri's a fabulous player, Vinny Jr. is a fabulous player, Carvajal's a fabulous player, Bellingham is a fabulous player. but they're only good because of the players that are around them and the support and everyone else that feeds into what they do. You know, Rodri's an exceptional midfielder because he has such a good defense behind him, because he has such great midfielders around him as well. Plus, what he does as well is exceptional. Vinny Jr. is the same. He's in a Real Madrid side that's full of stars and unbelievable ballers from 1 to 11 all the way through. And he does what he does because of that support around him. Now, occasionally they do it on their own, and we see that. That happens as well. But I just think on this occasion, they're not showing up. They got team of the year. They got coach of the year. And to be not there to pick those up and to avoid the awards. And listen, Real Madrid many times have had to sit through the Barcelona show at these Ballon d'Ors. Barcelona many times have had to sit through the Real Madrid show at these Ballon d'Ors. That whole tussle between Messi and Ronaldo year in, year out and all that kind of stuff. And occasionally a Modric comes up and we've had a Nedved and all these kind of things. I mean, when Nedved won it, remember when Henry looked like he was the guy and stuff like that and all, you know. So I just think there's always those kind of arguments and there's always this kind of ambiguity when it's journalists and all that kind of stuff. And they try to lay out on the screen the parameters and all this kind of stuff and all. And in reality, a lot of that doesn't matter and stuff like that. But the fact that you don't show up looks really, really bad, doesn't it? In terms of it's a real kind of sore loser mentality type of thing. You know, especially when you're probably being told you're getting team of the year and Carlo's getting coach of the year. You know, it's a weird one to kind of to take, you know. They said Rodri because he won the Euros, but so yeah, Carvajal, we spoke about that. Acers, Real Madrid will be trying to sign Rodri next season. Man City had the brown envelopes out, we all know. I don't know. As a Real Madrid fan, can you put that out there? Can you really? I can't wait to see Alonso coaching Vinny on the squad. Maybe he'll bring Verts with him. You think he's the guy? He's who you're pinning on? Is it Alonso? If Carlo goes, interesting choice. Will Alonso be ready? Is Alonso ready for that step up? Let me know your thoughts on that. Because I was even concerned, I have to say I was even concerned. I know Leverkusen had an unbelievable season last season. Let's see how they do this season, you know. But I was even concerned when he was being linked with the Liverpool job. And I'm not saying I didn't want him. I'm just saying I was concerned about that step up. It's a different level. It's different gravy. Ten Hag to Madrid. There's no chance of that. Do we get the feeling with Ten Hag that he's going to kind of go somewhat the Graham Potter route, where he's going to probably a number of jobs will be there and be available and stuff like that, but he may not be the manager of choice. I think in the last 3 to 6 months of managing United, I just think he got a little bit weird, didn't he? Just a little bit strange. And Potter was like that at Chelsea as well. Some of his post-match interviews and his press conferences became a little bit weird as the pressure got ratcheted up. So I'm not too sure. That definitely wouldn't happen anyway. Carlo, I love him, but it's almost time. Yeah, it's like as if... Is it like as if he's so good that, eventually he gets to a point where, dare I say, it's nearly boring for him or something like that, and there's a drop-off? But Real are sensational. Ten Hag will go back to the Dutch league. Interesting. Yeah, he seemed to. Yeah, you're probably right. I would imagine so. Ten Hag probably wants an international job next. I don't know whether international football would suit him. Dealing with a lot of different personalities coming from all four corners of the globe to pull it together and stuff like that, you know. So don't think that would be the case. I still think he has a lot to offer in club management. But I think it'll be I don't know. I think there'll be a lot of jobs that you will look at, and I think clubs might look at it and go, don't know whether I fancy him or not. You know, so let's see what happens. But that's my overall thoughts on the Ballon d'Or. I have to say I was happy. I didn't get into the Rodri versus Vinny thing because I had nailed my flag to Rodri anyway. And listen, I'm a Liverpool fan and he's a City player, so, you know, I didn't have to, you know. Ten Hag wouldn't get a coaching job in North Korea in Japan, the J League or something like that. Yeah. Big up, Baz. Good seeing my friend. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it was always Rodri. And look, there's arguments both ways. You know what I mean? If Vinny won it, I could see why he would win it. You know what I mean? But I just think the reaction I thought was absolutely crazy. And I thought this whole thing of planning parties and flying friends and family over and all that kind of stuff, you know, it's a bit it's the tail dragging it, isn't it? Really, you know. Big up, Jack, lads. I hit 100 subs this week. Great job, Jack. Keep it going, my friend. Keep it going. Right, let's get into the Premier League. And let's do our Premier League preview. We've got some great games this weekend coming up, folks, as well. Absolutely fabulous. So we're starting off Newcastle versus Arsenal. Acers, yeah, 2 weeks onto the Liverpool Real Madrid. Yeah, we shall see. That should be a good one, actually. Where's the Dazzler? He's off tonight. He's out trick-or-treating with the kids and stuff like that. Newcastle will beat Arsenal. Do you think so, Acers? Do you? I don't know. Newcastle seem to be a little bit all over the place at the moment. Newcastle will rinse Arsenal. Newcastle are coming in on the back of a 2-1 loss to Chelsea at the Bridge. So I don't know. They do need to bounce back. They are getting quite detached as well when you look at the league. Fair enough. Yeah, no bother. But they are getting a little bit detached now. They're down on 12th with 12 points from 9 games, minus 1 goal difference. Will not, and a lot of stuff going on off the pitch there at Newcastle, isn't there, as well? We've seen a report coming out this week as well that the Saudi PIF or whatever it is have said that they're going to be scaling back on their foreign investment as well. So what that means for Newcastle is that the purse strings are going to be a bit tighter. Whereas we thought with the ruling now on these, these investments and stuff like that had opened up a little bit, that maybe they would be spending more, but they seem to be cutting back. So what does that mean? And there was also stories coming out there a few weeks ago. They were talking about this Saudi investment, that they may look to exit the Newcastle project, because it might take a long, long time, maybe up to a decade, to get them where they want to get it to. When you look at how long it took PSG, and even City took a bit of time to ratchet up to where they wanted to get to. So it could take a bit of time, and they may look towards, a Liverpool or a Chelsea who have like a much bigger revenue and all that kind of stuff and all. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep an eye on it. Going the River of Lights tomorrow in L4 City Centre. Nice. Like it, Jack. Like it. Todd Bowley won the World Series with the Dodgers, and as a Yankees fan, I'm gutted. Gutted, yeah. They had a big, I seen they had Ice Cube, didn't they? Ice Cube doing the promo music for it and stuff like that for LA and all, which was pretty cool. Real good throwback and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But let's get into this anyway. So Newcastle United versus Arsenal. I think in my bet the bookie, if I can remember, I did Arsenal to win and both teams to score. I think it's really, really important as well for Arsenal. They probably can't afford to get too detached. I think Bournemouth will be quite a task for Man City going away as well, with the injuries they have and stuff like that, but they'll find a way to win. I expect City to beat Bournemouth, even though it's a tough trip. So they will go to 26 points. So if Arsenal were to lose at Newcastle, they would be 8 points after 10 games behind City. And I think that would be really hard to come back with. So I'm gonna go with a narrow enough Arsenal win, but I think Arsenal would get it done. Maybe a 3-2 or a 2-1, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I'm glad we're fan owned. I couldn't deal with all these greedy owners. Yeah, it's crazy. 2 or 3-1. Yeah, Newcastle. Isaac, yes. Oh, you're going Newcastle. I'm going Arsenal. Similar score, but Arsenal. Man City have been boring. Only managed a 1-0 against Southampton. Yeah, they did, but it's kind of like, it's like the other night as well when they bowed out of the Carabao Cup. You know what I mean? They didn't seem too bothered. Haaland was on the bench and you didn't use him and all. Arsenal was never in title race under Frontera. You're always in a title race. They're still in a title race. Let's not be silly here. So next up then, Man City versus Bournemouth. I think this will be another tight one as well, but I think City will have too much for them, depending on who they play and stuff like that and all. But I think City maybe again 2-1, 3-2 or something like that. I think Bournemouth will score. They have been scoring goals. But I think City will just squeak it out. They'll just find a way, especially with Arsenal in the early game. If they get the win there, they'll go to 21 points. So they'll put a bit of pressure on Liverpool and Man City. Up next, Ipswich versus Leicester. This is a real opportunity. I thought Leicester last night against United, probably well changed anyway, but I thought Leicester against United last night, I think it was, even though you get that new manager bounce, if you like, or old manager exit bounce or whatever it is. I thought Leicester last night, I thought they were clumsy and they were poor and stuff like that. This will probably be a slightly different game in terms of there'll be a bit in it. Probably a draw. Thinking a draw on this one, maybe a 2-2 draw or something like that. But it would be pivotal for Ipswich to get 3 points out of this, being at home and stuff like that, because they faltered lately and stuff like that. So if Ipswich could pick up the points, that would be absolutely huge. But I think you're going to end up in a 2-2 draw. Liverpool versus Brighton, as we well know, history would tell us, the cup games are never a reflection of the league games. But Brighton coming to Anfield, who always put in a really good showing at Anfield as well. Brighton will come to Anfield. They won't be overawed and they will play their game. There's no doubt about that. Hurstler is doing a fantastic job at Brighton. Unbelievable. But I think Liverpool at Anfield just might have a bit too much. 3 o'clock game as well. Change side as well. I know we threw on a few boys last night against Brighton and stuff like that. And kind of, if you look at the kind of mistakes that were made as well, leading to the 2 Brighton goals, they're not typically of what we do. The boy Kwanzaa having a bit of a nightmare last night, got hooked as well, and kind of felt for him as well because he was trying to, last time when he lost his place out as well, obviously Kanate coming back in as well was based on a mistake, a similar mistake with a straight pass leading to a goal. So the same thing again last night. You could see when he was being taken off and stuff like that, he looked quite dejected. But chin up, Jarrell. Chin up, Jarrell. There's always next time as well. Don't labor on it, and don't dwell on it. Put it behind you, get it into training, get hard and stuff. But I think Liverpool will probably take this one. Again, I think it'll be an interesting game, but I think this one will be slightly different, and I think it'll be 3-1 when Liverpool put that quality out there, both in defence and stuff like that, and up front. Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. I think Forest are going to do this, but I think it's going to be slim. I think Forest and West Ham. I don't know what I put in to beat the bookie, but I'll show you later when I'm doing the bets and stuff like that. I might have called it as a draw. I'm not too sure. But I think this sets up for a tight win for Forest as well. West Ham, of course, picking up the win last week against Man United, relying on an interesting penalty decision, to say the least. But Forest might be a tougher task under Nuno at home as well. Crowd on top of them and stuff like that. I don't know whether West Ham will fancy this. So I think this could be a good one for Forest to win, maybe 2-1. Where are we now? Man City and Pep never cared for the Carabao, and Spurs fans think they're unreal, beating a team that didn't care. Don't know, he's won quite a few of them and celebrated them in recent times and stuff like that as well. So I wouldn't say they didn't care. I'd say probably with the injuries and everything else that he's juggling and stuff like that, maybe this season is a reality check of where your priorities are and stuff like that. And also struggle, as you said earlier, with Southampton, I'm struggling through certain games and stuff that eventually you're going to stumble on some, So maybe he had one eye on that as well. United versus Chelsea will be a draw, either 1-1 or 2-2. I might have picked that as well, actually, I think. Do you think Amarim will keep Ruud van Nistelrooy around? I think he will until the summer. And then I think Ruud might take a different job at the club. But I think, and you know what? I think it would be really important for Amarim to keep him around as well. It'd be important to have a guy there, who's experienced the height of success at Man United when he was there, to give him a feed in and stuff like that. Like, this is, let's not get this confused. I'm a huge fan of Ruben Amarim. I wanted Ruben Amarim in the summer before we went the slot route and stuff like that. Everyone knows this. He was always on my list. He plays real good football, real positive attacking football, high press, real intense, 3 at the back, really progressive football and stuff like that. The only problem he will have going into United is if he's going to be able to deploy that style that he does at Sporting, and does he have the makeup of the players to present that style, or is it going to be he's going to need a few signings in January, he's going to need a few signings in the summer before he eventually has that 3-4-3 that he wants, but let's see what happens, you know what I mean? But he will 100% improve United, and he is I would say probably in 5 or 6 years the most serious signing they've made. I think they moved really, really quickly. I suppose the only disappointing thing is the fact that they didn't just make the decision in the summer, move in the summer, and give him the whatever it was they spent in the summer, the 200 million to spend on what he needed, so you could deploy the 3-4-3. But let's see how he feels about the players that are there. He's going to come in kind of like Slot. He's going to have a couple of months. I think he's coming in after the November international break, from what I read. He's going to have a couple of months to play with the players and see how they go, and where they fit in and where they don't. And then we'll see by the movements in January, either players out and players in, what's going to happen, and who he truly believes he has. Because I still fundamentally believe, even though people will say they were buying players now in the image of the club and the way they want the club, the philosophies of the club, not the manager, I don't believe that. I still believe most of those players that went in there were Ten Hag players. And that's just my own personal view on it. So we'll see what happens. Acers, no, his Sporting Lisbon backroom team are going with him. Yeah, they will come in as well, but I think it would be really important there for about, at least till the summer, to keep him in and around it and stuff like that, because we've seen this before, no disrespect to the Portuguese league. This is one of the biggest jobs in football. You know what I mean? This is a massive step up, with a lot of pressure on you, moving into a feisty media situation in the UK as well, where you will have a microscope up your backside every minute of every day, questioning every single thing you do. And the minute you falter once, like what happened with Ten Hag, the media just go into like vultures on a carcass. And it's whether he'll be able to deal with that. And that's where someone like Rude could be really, really important when he this bedding in period and stuff like that. So I think it's important to keep him around. Amram will cook at Man United because Ratcliffe will throw the money at him like a tea party. Amram will raid Sporting for talent. Yeah, they've lots of, like, you've Yerke's in there, you've Ignacio at the back, who I wanted. Number of players in there that you could bring in and stuff like that and all. But again, I think Man United are going to have to be careful as well, because you've gone through a Ten Hag raiding the Dutch league. Didn't work. Now are we going to have an Amran raiding the Portuguese league, and will it work? Now, we know a lot of the Portuguese players that come into the Premier League are hugely successful. The hit rate is absolutely massive, so it may or may not work out, but I think it'll be interesting to see. Bruno will be a different player under Amran. He will. Where is he playing him, Romy? Where do you think he's going to put him? Let me know. Maguire and Evans definitely gone. Easier said than done, Acers. Easier said than done. And let's be honest here, Maguire, you know what I mean? I don't know how he'd fit into a back three, but certainly when he came back in and stuff like that, it's not like he's been performing bad. Yerke's number one target, yeah. How does that fit in as well, Acers? What way are you going to work that now? You've Hoyland in there, you've Garnacho, you've Ahmad, you've Rashford, you've Zerkis. Talk of Zerkis as well. Might end up going out on loan in January. Thoughts is that they may have taken him maybe a season too early and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what way that goes. Southampton versus Everton. I don't know what way this is going to go, but I think probably a draw. And then Wolves versus Crystal Palace, I think, is going to be a draw as well. I think both of those games probably 2-2. In them. So let's get into Sunday. Great Sunday football there. Spurs versus Aston Villa. Spurs will be on a high from the win in the Carabao Cup over Man City. But again, it'll be interesting to see who they field. I think did Werner pick up an injury last night and stuff like that and all. Aston Villa will be looking to bounce back. 1-0 with Bournemouth last week as well, getting slightly detached, 18 points as well. City with the 23. They will kind of feel the same way as Arsenal, that they need to put a win on the board. Going to Spurs, tough place to go and stuff like that. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if this was another draw. 2-2 or something like that, which won't benefit Aston Villa. It'll make them slightly more detached. Let's see what happens. And then we have Man United versus Chelsea as the Super Sunday. You'll have Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge. Can Man United put on a display like they did against Leicester? How will Chelsea feel crashing out of the Carabao Cup? Certainly a very different game. Let's see how that goes. That will be a really, really good game. And I think there'll be plenty of goals in that one as well. Certainly sets up for someone like a Cole Palmer, doesn't he? Even though at times against traditional top six and those bigger kind of stages, sometimes the game can bypass him a little bit. And that's something for Maresca and Chelsea to figure out as well. How to keep him in those bigger games in whatever position they need him in. But certainly it's going to be a big game. Chelsea as well, with so many options going into a game like that. You know, you've Pedro Neto, Joe Felix, all these guys and stuff like that. They have an abundance of riches in terms of options. United would be a little bit narrower and stuff like that in terms of what they have. But certainly the United fan base will be raucous after that big win in the Carabao Cup. And the relief at Ten Hag going and Ruud being in charge, and obviously Amarin more or less nailed down and stuff, I think will be pivotal in that. And then the Monday night one is Fulham versus Brentford, which I think is going to be a cracking game. I'm a fan of both these managers and the brand of football that they play. I think there'll be plenty of goals in this as well. But I could see Fulham just squeezing it, maybe 3-2, because it's at Craven Cottage. That's the only reason. Let's see now. Where are we? Xerxes will be sold in the summer. I was watching him even last night. I don't know if you were watching him last night. In the game against Leicester. He's fierce slow, isn't he? He's fierce slow. Now there's no doubt he has some nice touches and stuff like that and some good play and stuff like that. But he's really laboured at times. He looks really laboured. I would replace Onana with the Sporting keeper, Franco Israel. Interesting. Onana's probably been United's most improved player, though. That's the only thing I would say about it. And do you know something? You could see the best of Onana with his distribution in a 3-4-3. Don't sleep on that either. Will he keep Sancho? No, I think Sancho. I think Sancho's going to stay at Chelsea. I think he's doing really, really well there. He's happy, all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but it was interesting that his Instagram post when Ten Hag was sacked was interesting, wasn't it? Putting the beard in. Champions League is catching up on Villa, I see. Slightly. It's becoming a little bit wearing. But again, you know, when I said to Darren the other day that they had been doing a really good job in terms of rotation, Barkley has come in at times and done really, really well. They have enough there in terms of rotation. And, you know, they've really started well in the Champions League. So they don't need to. They should be looking at some of these games and they should be a little bit more strategic. You know, you would expect them to beat Chelsea. You would expect them to get something off Bruges. And if they get those two over the line, they're more or less qualified. You know what I mean? Because he's done a phenomenal job in the Champions League. So it'll be interesting to see what way he goes with that. At Acers, he will get a lifeline under Amarin. This is Sancho, you think, is it? You think he'd bring him in? He is a baller, and Amarin will like that and stuff, you know. Big up, Ryan. Good to see you, man. How are you feeling? Where are we? Really good point, Ryan, at the weekend. The 2-2 draw. Incredible. Brighton dropping it and Wolves going in for it. How do you think Wolves and Palace is going to go, Ryan? What you thinking? What would you do Saturday if you were slotting on Cody or Diaz? It's a tough call, isn't it? It's a tough call. It's a great call to have as a coach. I don't know. Do you know, I'd probably still start with Diaz. And what I do is I'd bring Cody on. But isn't it a great situation to be in that, like, you have Luis Diaz or Cody Gakpo starting, both of them in fine form, and you can take one off and put another one on. The other thing that could happen is if the game is going really well on that left hand side, who's to say you don't pull Cody into the middle, you know, and you hook maybe Darwin or something like that. Let's see what happens. You know, lots of options there for Slot to deal with. But he's after having a good look at Brighton, and you can see how dangerous Brighton can be, especially when they start bringing on the likes of Matoma. Evan Ferguson last night, one or two kind of moments, but slightly off. It's still way off the Evan Ferguson that we had back in the is it last season or the early part of last season and stuff like that and all, yeah. Good evening, Daz, mate. There we go. Big up, Brian. Roll. Big up. I wouldn't say UCL is catching up on Villa. They lost yesterday, but rested a lot of key players. They did indeed, yeah. And I think they're positioned in a real great position, Ryan, aren't they? Hey, Daz. Where are we now? What do we want here? Ryan, I put you down for a 2-1. Think we can win the game at the weekend. SA apparently out. Very good second half performance against Brighton. Yeah, absolutely. If SA is out, that would be absolutely huge if that's the case. Lots of players now just falling down, aren't they? It happened to Newcastle. I can see them injuries occurring. Need to win this game. Big time. Big time. Need to get it going. Gary O'Neill under huge pressure with international break around the corner and his job on the line. Absolutely. Forest and Everton victories. Going for a Forest victory and an Everton victory. Okay. Interesting. Right, so that's your roundup on the Premier League. That's what our thinking is. So I think Arsenal with a tight victory over Newcastle. I think Man City will get it done just about against Bournemouth. Ipswich and Leicester a draw. Liverpool to beat Brighton. Forest to marginally, I think, beat West Ham. I think now that might not occur with my beat the Bookie. Southampton and Everton a draw, and Wolves and Palace a draw. Spurs and Aston Villa a draw. Man United and Chelsea a draw. And I think Fulham will marginally beat Brentford. That's what I'm going with. They're my picks. Not saying it won't happen, mate, but don't think it's caught up with them yet. No, not yet. Niall, Trent inevitably to join us. What are you saying? Absolutely. I think it's 100% at this stage. And this garbage that's coming out all the time and this narrative about, like, you know, Liverpool means everything to him. Just come out and say you're going and just be done with it. You know what I mean? I honestly think it's going to happen. I think the agreement will be done in January. I think he's decided he wants a new challenge. So that's it. And I think that the problem that he has is that I think with Slot coming in and hitting the ground running the way he did, it presents a bit of a problem for him, because if Slot had to come in and he had to stuttered a little bit and we were mid-table and we were struggling and the Klopp drop-off had happened and all that kind of stuff, he'd have reason to say, well, maybe I need to get out of here kind of thing. But the fact that we're up there and we're challenging and we're sticking in with it and we're getting really, really good results and everything seems to be going pretty well, bar the odd injury here or there, I think it presents a problem to Trent in terms of making the decision. Came out and he said he's looking for new challenges. So if he's looking for new challenges, I doubt it's going to be at Liverpool. So how do you feel about getting him? We have Palace, Southampton at home in our next two massive games. Yeah. If SA is out, you should be looking for 6 points from both those games. And if you get them, then you'll be back, you'll be up and running. Gary be going again and stuff like that. Then Fulham away, Ipswich at home. And if he has a bad run here, it's time up. Yeah, I think the Fulham away will be a tough one. The Ipswich at home is one you should be winning. I think Ipswich, they'll just struggle on the road. Has been enjoying them in the Champions League, to be fair. Absolutely. They've been excellent. Money cares more, let's be real. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. But I think when the dust settles, if he does sign for Real Madrid, I think when you look at the contract he gets at Real Madrid, I don't think there will be a huge difference in the Liverpool contract. It's not like we're lowballing the guy. We're making the guy the most expensive player at the club. He's also going to be the future captain. He's also a Liverpool kid. He's a Liverpool through and through. Grew up, came through the academy, all that kind of stuff. Completed football and won everything under Jurgen Klopp and all that kind of thing. But if he wants to go to Spain, if he wants to try something different, if he wants more of a guarantee, that Galactico situation, all that kind of stuff, so be it. Go. If that's what you want to do. Owen did it. Steve McManaman did it. They do it, you know what I mean? We'll just have to dust ourselves down and we'll have to move on and we'll have to find a solution like we always do, and that's it. It's just a shame because I would have loved to see Trent as the captain at Liverpool one day hoisting the Premier League and also hoisting the Champions League as the captain of Liverpool and being that guy like Stevie and stuff like that. As they say, the slogan says that this means more. It does mean more when it's those guys. When you see Stevie hoisting that trophy in Istanbul and stuff, you know what I mean? That's just, these are moments. These are historical moments. I haven't, sick of getting roasted by my Villa family members, friends. There you go. Ryan, any bets for the weekend? Yeah, we'll go through the bets later on as well. I have some bets there as well. Yeah, Daz, I'll put mine on Saturday, mate. There we go. Let us know if you are having a bet as well, folks. Let us know what bet you're having as well. We're always interested in those. Trent just waiting for 2 weeks' time to announce that he signed for Madrid in January. He's not waiting for 2 weeks' time. You won't be able to say anything like that until January, but there's no doubt. Jude said to me he misses his skill side piece. Possibly. Barcelona were phenomenal in El Clasico. They were phenomenal in El Clasico. And it looked like Real Madrid, they were just shell-shocked as to what was happening, you know what I mean? And they did create chances, you know. So Spotify FC rolled us up like a 3-month free Spotify premium. They did. Wait till we play you in the Champions League. Easy, Daz. Go easy on that chest now. Go easy on that chest. Don't let some of these results fool you at the moment. When Real Madrid roll into town against Liverpool at Anfield, it's all different gravy. It'll be a cracking match. There's no doubt about it. Ryan's in. Barca is my second team, so at least I have a little bit of joy from them. There you go. I'm hyped for it, Daz. Yeah, I'm going to be hyped for it as well. Like, these are the games we want, aren't we? This is why they've structured all these new things this way. Look at the Carabao Cup. We spoke about how they structured the Euros, that most of the big teams will be in the latter stages. Look at the Carabao Cup and how they've structured it and stuff like that and all that. A lot of the big teams are in the latter stages. You know what I mean? And they're doing the exact same thing with the Champions League. There'll be very, very few surprises probably in that top 8 and that middle section and stuff like that. They want to keep the big teams in it. Madrid will destroy Liverpool comfortably. Don't be silly now, Aces. Don't be silly. You can't be saying things like that. Madrid haven't been destroying anyone this season. Now, listen, that's not to say they're not a great team. They haven't been destroying anyone this season. Hansi Flick cooking. Good, I can't lie. He is indeed. Another 5-2 Niall. We conquered Anfield like the Beatles did. Shea Stadium. Please, stop. That's the last thing I need. We did the manager and the player of the month. Right, let's talk about League of Ireland. Don't forget, tomorrow night, folks, we have a double watch along. So we're going to be following Shelbourne up in Derry, and we're also going to be following Shamrock Rovers against Waterford. So we've double watch along for you tomorrow night. I think Darren might be joining me. I'm not sure. It is a 7:30. So I'm not sure if he's off in time for that or whether he's working or what's happening. Mark won't be joining us. I think he's in work till 7 or 7:30 doing fittings and stuff like that. He was supposed to be heading up to the Shells game, but I don't think that's going to happen now. But it should be a bit of fun. And we'll also chat about the Liverpool-Brighton game as well during that show as well. We'll talk about like lineups and all that kind of stuff going into the Saturday game, which is pivotal for us. These are the games that are coming up. So Bows versus Galway. We will keep an eye on all the games, but we will be mainly focused on the 2 games that's going to decide the title. Bows versus Galway, Derry Shelbourne, the big one, Drogheda versus Dundalk, Shamrock Rovers versus Waterford, and Sligo versus St. Pat's. What a job Stephen Kenny is doing at St. Pat's. I think that's 6 or 7 on the bounce now they've won. Something crazy. And what I said, and it kind of came true really, I said Pat's will just run out of games. That if there was another maybe 3 to 5 games, Pats would be right in around that title. Right in around it. No doubt about it. So we will be on your screens tomorrow night, folks. The show is up there, so mark it if you want. 7:30 we will be live. We'll bring you all the team news, everything that's going on, anything you need, and then we'll be following both games. It's going to be absolutely sensational. What an end to the Irish League this year, and we'll see who'll win. No doubt Darren and Mark will be cheering for Shells. I'll be going for Shamrock Rovers because they're from my old neck of the woods and stuff like that. Who else would I cheer for? And just to balance it out as well. We need a few heels and faces. So join us tomorrow night. It'll be a fun game. We can talk loads of crap about football as well and all that kind of stuff. League of Ireland have been invested. Great season it was, hasn't it? It's been a great season, Romy. And I see an article there, 2024, 25,000 season tickets were sold in the League of Ireland. 25,000 season tickets, so it's really on the up at the moment. So just needs that little bit more advertising, a little bit more investment and money, a little bit more TV time, a little bit more respect. Put respect on the Irish League. I was Niall in a stream with an LFC fan in his chat. Niall, is it true about VAR next round of League Cup? Does it quick kick in the quarters or does it kick in the semis? I'm not too sure. I know Chelsea would be slightly aggrieved because I can certainly say that Anthony Gordon 2-footer last night, that's a straight red on VAR all day, and that could have really changed the outcome of that game. I'm not sure if it enters in the quarters or the semis. I'm not too sure. And we're not too far away as well from that semi-automatic offside. Isn't that coming in November, I think? So isn't that coming in some stage in November? Or is it just after the November internationals maybe? At Ryan, we're playing him out of position. We can't put him on left wing. That's Vinny's position. Also, out back line needs a refresh. Carvajal is Sloan, and injuries have killed Militao. Yeah, absolutely. Derry will deny Duffer title. You think, Acers? You think so? They've struggled the last few games, haven't they? Derry will be kicking themselves. If you look at Derry's last 6 results, they will be absolutely kicking themselves that they're at a minimum not having an opportunity tomorrow night to decide the league for themselves at home. They've had a great opportunity in the last 5 or 6 games. They've kind of just chuffed it away, basically, chucked it away. That's why I didn't think it would work as well as others around me. Mbappe hates playing as a 9. He just looks. How have people felt about Mbappe at Real Madrid? We know he's a sensational player. We know he's one of the best players in the world and all that kind of stuff and all. But does it feel right? Does it feel the way it should? Is it meshing the way people talk? Because I think Rodrigo's he's a fantastic player. He complained about it a lot of PSG with Messi and Neymar in the side as well. Yeah, he likes to be the guy, doesn't he? He likes to be the guy. And you'll get away with that a little bit at PSG. Obviously, not as much when Messi and Neymar were there. You ain't getting away with that at Real Madrid. Semi-final for VAR racers, yeah. Semis, yeah. Spot on, lads. That's what I was thinking, semis, yeah. The improvement on the League of Ireland will help your international squad in the long run. It will if they're brave enough to pick them. And history would show that's never really been the case. Unless developing youth and then that youth comes out of the League of Ireland, goes over to the UK or wherever it is, Europe and stuff like that. Maybe they develop even further. But directly in has always been a problem. There's only a handful you can think of. Glenn Crowe is one that comes to mind straight away. He had a sensational season one season with Bowles. I think he was scoring goals for fun, literally week in, week out. And he got a call up. And I'm not even sure, did he come on? Was he used as a sub? Can't remember. It's so far back, way back. We're talking Glenn Crowe here, absolute Bowles legend. He does both there, 100%. Mbappe has been so off. It reminds me of Modric first season with us. Yeah, so it could all turn around. Something. I think he's a fabulous player, but I just wonder, does he rock that balance there at Real Madrid or something like that? You know what I mean? I mean, he walks into literally every team on the planet. But he's I suppose when you're managing him, he's just not the kind of guy that you can sit down, is it? He has to play and wants to play and stuff like that. It just got on well, yeah. Haven't heard nothing at that, so I'll message Stacey tomorrow and ask her. Cool. So that's what I'm thinking tomorrow. I think Bowles will probably beat Galway. I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but I think Derry City might get the draw against Shells. I think Drogheda will beat Dundalk. I think Dundalk are done. I think Rovers will probably beat Waterford. And I think Pats will beat Sligo Rovers. And my prediction for tomorrow night, I could see Rovers winning it on goal difference. I think it's going to come down to goal difference, and that's a real fucking kicker, a real kicker. But that's, Rovers have come from nowhere. They were way off it at one stage. But they just have that experience and that nous. And with Shamrock Rovers being at home as well, Tallaght Stadium absolutely sold out to the rafters as well, folks. It's going to be rocking there tomorrow night, and that will be the game. If Darren's on with me, Darren will probably be following the Shells game, and I'll be following the Rovers game. That's the way we'll break it down, I'd say. But I think Rovers will beat Waterford. They have struggled now the last couple of games as well. Remember, a couple of 1-0s, I think it was, and they had to get over the line to keep themselves in this position. And I think, if I'm right as well, that they only beat Dundalk 1-0 as well on the Sunday game after beating Larne 4-1 in the Europa. So they'll want to make it a lot more comfortable than that, or you will hear the anxiety and the stress and the nervousness coming through the stands in Tallaght Stadium tomorrow night. That's for sure. Shells and Derry is the real conundrum. Can they continue their form that they've rediscovered, Shells, heading up to Derry, or will Derry spoil it up there, So I think Mark was saying that there was something like they've allocated 350 or 400 to the away fans or stuff like that. I think there'll probably be more. It'll be interesting to see, but two absolute bangers. Here we go. I want to see more on Hendrick. His versatility, I love. Yeah, absolutely. And when they're playing that young as well, they play with that freedom of not having the care and stuff like that, and it just looks amazing and stuff like that. No, but again, it's how you find that balance with what you have there as well. I don't know much about the Irish League. Need some educating. Check it out, Ryan. You'll get it online. You'll pick up some of the stuff on YouTube. If you even check out last weekend's games from last Friday night, some of the goals were incredible. So yeah, it's really on the up at the moment. It's being spoken about and stuff like that now. It's worth having a look. It's worth having a look. Don't forget to do your predictions, Ryan. There you go. Rovers versus Larne was a very tasty game. Well, it was, wasn't it? Really, really tasty. No less the history. Going to do them soon, Daz. There you go. And Andre Wisdom, the Derry OG. Could he be the guy? Could he be the difference? Niall, thank you for getting me into the League of Ireland and hooked like a crackhead. There you go. It's really good, isn't it, Romy? It's good and it's real. There's an old school feel to it as well. It's like, I have a huge passion for Ring of Honor, the way I watched it back in the day and stuff like that. I used to say to people, to get entertained, I watch WWE. I watched Ring of Honor when I wanted to watch those pure, real wrestling kind of matches and stuff like that and all. And it's kind of like that. There's a brutal side to that League of Ireland football and stuff like that. And the fans are absolutely insane. We posted videos last week and all, if you've seen before the Shells game and all, the place was lit up with flares and stuff like that and all that kind of thing. So they really do have a real passion to follow their clubs and stuff like that. And most of the clubs always have a real good away crowd as well. So it makes for a really, really good setting. And tomorrow, the fact that it's come down to these, Dublin rivals as well, Shamrock Rovers and Shells and stuff like that and all, it's come down to this now is absolutely phenomenal. And, it's hard to say this after the fact as well. Like, if Shells were to miss out, they'd be deeply disappointed, because Shells should have had this wrapped up, paraded in the trophy cabinet, done and dusted, and they haven't. And that's my fear. My fear is, will that anxiety kick in tomorrow night up in Derry? Will Boydie be able to do what he needs to do up front, what he's been doing the last two games? Will he be able to do that and push Shells over the line to get that win? Or will that nervousness, Shamrock Rovers so used to these situations at times where they have to get a League One. They've done it time and time and time again. History shows it. So I don't know, but it's going to be absolutely tops. So make sure you tune in. We'll have a lot of fun. It's Friday night. Crack open a few beers, get your popcorn and Maltesers, whatever you want to get. Settle yourself in, get a takeaway, Chinese, Indian, whatever you want to get, and we'll have a bit of crack. Do they have the chance to qualify for the Conference League, etc.? Yeah, I think there is. I think there's because Rovers are playing. Rovers are playing in the Conference League at the moment. They're in with Chelsea. They're going to be playing Chelsea actually in a few weeks at the Bridge, Shamrock Rovers. But they do, yeah, they have all that, yeah. And I think Pats as well. Are Pats playing in the Europa? I think Pats might be playing in the Europa. I'm not too sure. I know Rovers are playing in the they're playing against Chelsea coming up in the conference. So yeah, so check it out. Well worth it. They go through the qualifiers and stuff like that. But it's huge to them as well, Ryan, because the money they get out of Europe is way more than what they get out of the Irish League. It's absolutely massive. Liam Scales, the old Rovers player, is quality now at Celtic. Noel Rodgers has him playing like a Ginger Maldini. There you go, Ginger Maldini. Rodgers has a way of finding them and unearthing them, doesn't he? Interesting. I'm watching Terrifier 3 tonight, them playing the Alan Wake for Halloween. Like it. How did you get on as well with your Black Ops, Romy? Recommend, good, bad, indifferent. The boys here play Black Ops, but they haven't played it for a few years and they're tempted to get it. Recommendation, let me know. You were going to play it all last weekend, weren't you? I haven't watched any of those Terrifiers yet. So there you go. So that's my predictions for tomorrow night. Make sure you join us. We'll be live from 7:30 with team news and all the rest of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let us know your thoughts on this, folks. How do you guys feel about it? I spoke about it earlier. I think he's going to come in. He's going to do a fabulous job. I think he'd be stupid not to keep reeled around. Ten Hag out of the picture very quickly. What did you make of the performance last night by United? Had they down tools on Ten Hag? We're playing with this freedom, free-flowing, scoring goals, putting the ball in the back of the net. Had they been worn out from the Ten Hag situation that had ran its course and they just want to change? When you look at the difference in that team between the West Ham game and between that Leicester game last night, it's night and day. It's chalk and cheese, really. I'm okay, Noel, but the maps are rubbish. There you go. I seen a clip for it. I seen it's real intense, isn't it? I seen one of the trailers of that, and guys grabbing the guy's head and he's putting it on a spinner wheel and just paring the head off him. It's gone crazy. I was an old Romy. I used to play World at War years ago. The Modern Warfare one, I think, with the zombie map, and it was the first ever zombie map. Maybe you had to complete Modern Warfare to actually get the zombie map really to get it to work, to be released. So I used to play that, and I used to play that over and over again. That zombie map was just cool. That's good. Can't believe TNS are in it, to be honest, when to a game of theirs when I was young. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is what they rely on. The money at that level for those games is huge for these clubs. Absolutely huge. Campaign and Black Ops is brilliant. There we go. Going to watch TNA tonight myself. Good man, Daz. I like that a lot. Ten Hag lost the dressing room like R. Kelly. There we go. I don't know whether R. Kelly lost the dressing room. I think R. Kelly just he was in the wrong dressing room when he got caught, wasn't he? World at War is goat, Noel. That's why you're a real OJ. I used to love it, man. I used to play it for hours, just running around that building, and the zombies all chasing you, and you're going up and down those stairs. No, it was such fun. 1991 Iraq War. There we go. And Ryan's in absolutely, yeah, gas. That's it, folks. That is the show. Darren will be back next week with us, of course. He might be on the screens tomorrow night for this League of Ireland watch along. So we should have a bit of crack on that as well. Hope you enjoyed the show as a solo. I will be back tomorrow night, as I said, 7:30 with the watch along. We'll be bringing you Derry versus Shells and Rovers versus Waterford. We'll keep you abreast of all the other results as they happen as well, and the goals going in, all that kind of stuff as well. And we will be taking a look towards Liverpool versus Brighton as well. We will squeeze that in Saturday, 3:00. So until next time, folks, enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Don't lose any limbs or fingers around with fireworks or any of that kind of thing. Go easy on it. Big up, Romy. Appreciate it. Always love having you in, my man. Ryan, big up, Niall. I'll try and catch the stream tomorrow. Yeah, see can you plug it in, and Ryan, see can you find a way to catch one of the shows as well. I know RT is showing it. I don't know if you can stream RT over there if you have a VPN, but RTE is showing one of the games and RTE News is showing the other. So if you have a VPN and you can download the RTE player, you'll be able to pick it up there as well to have a look. Oh yeah, sorry, Daz, good man. That's why I have you in here. The bets. Nearly forgot to do the bets, folks. There you go. And I would have forgot them. I would have forgot them only for you, Daz. You're an absolute legend. So here's the bets that I have for you. I have 3 bets. This phone is so slow. So we'll start with Daz, you're a hero. Good man. I had absolutely lost my mind on it. If I can just get this to come up. Right. So the first one I have for you, and if you have any bets, folks, drop them in there. And of course, always Sergeant Slaughter versus Hawk in Iraq War. There we go. I'll find a dodgy stream. No problem at all. You'll enjoy it. You will enjoy it, and it'll be intense. So let's start off. First of all, result and bout the score. This is worth, folks, 92-1. So I went with Arsenal and bout the score against Newcastle. I went with Man City and bout the score against Bournemouth. I went with Nottingham Forest and bout the score against West Ham. And I went with Liverpool and bout the score against Brighton. And that will pay you 92-1. That's the first one. The second one then is I simply picked 3 draws. And the 3 draws I went for were Ipswich versus Leicester, Southampton versus Everton, and Wolves versus Crystal Palace. Now, I might change that knowing that Ryan told me that SA is out, but I went for those as 3 draws. And 3 draws on that will pay you 38-1. So a little draw treble there. And then the last one is one that I did that Darren always loved, to score or assist. To score or assist. And this pays 40-1. So I went a little bit outlandish, a little bit on this. I didn't go with the typical norm. So to score or assist, Trent Alexander-Arnold against Brighton. Come on, Trent. Don't do me dirty on the pitch as well as in the contract. Morgan Rogers for Aston Villa against Tottenham. And then I went for Stone Cold Cole Palmer to score against Man United or assist. These are score or assist. And then you'll be happy with this one, Ryan. You'll be very happy with this one. Ryan Ait-Nouri for Wolves to score or assist against Crystal Palace. And they are my 4. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, and Ryan Ait-Nouri is my final one in that 4. And that pays 40-1, all to score or assist. Tidy little bet there. So a 40-1, a 30-1, and a 92-1. That's what you got there. That is the bets for the weekend. Check them out. As always, if any of them come up, they'll be sending that money off to one of the local charities or something like that. That's the way it goes. Roll me. I work for Sky. You're nicked. There we go. I don't know if you've seen the Ireland jerseys, lads, at the last international match. Did you see the 2 boys? One guy with the jersey on, because it's sponsored by Sky. One guy with the jersey on saying Dodgy Box instead of Sky, and the other one had one on saying Fire Stick. It was quality. Absolutely quality. Damn, I've got Sky as well. There you go. There you go. Sky Sports Plus last night was terrible. Games kept freezing. Did they? I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like the setup. I like to be able to see all the goals. You know where it goes to the grounds and stuff like that. The only thing I didn't like about it was, and let me know your thoughts on this as well, before it really got to the goal, it was telling you who had taken the lead and who had scored. So the commentator was ahead of it. Whereas if he had held off for a few seconds, it would have made it a bit more exciting. That's the only thing. But it's a great setup, that Sky Sports Plus. Only messing can't beat the illegal streams. There we go. There we go. Definitely, mate. 100%. I didn't see that. Yeah. It's class. Yeah, the boys, 2 boys at the match. It was quality. Give us a knack and Niall. Can't win for shit at the moment. I don't tend to do straight up ones. I did those 3 draws. That treble is as much as I could give you. I did the result about the scorers there for you, and then to score or assist. They tend to be the bets we do. It's rarely we do a straight up backer unless we think things are going to get a little bit weird and you get price. Very hard to get a knacker up. There's always one that bites you. There's always one that jumps up, especially in the Prem. Really tough. If you want to go for a good acca, you nearly have to go down to the Championship. You'll have better luck down the Championship landing an acca than you will nearly in the Prem. If you want to get any money, need dodgy streams. There you go. Oh, lads, unbelievable. So, lads, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button. I know you've done all that kind of stuff. But of course, the most important is like the video. Like. When you come out of the chat, if you haven't liked it, make sure you're liking the video. That's what's most important. That's what will spread the word. That's what will grow the channel. All these really good things that we need. You guys are absolutely legends in the chat. You are here week in, week out, and we really appreciate it. We love the banter and we love the chat. We love this community that we're creating here and all that kind of stuff as well. Daz is in. Trent, 13-2 to score anytime, same as Bradley, Nunes, and Mo. Not too bad. Not too bad. Trent, 13-2 to score anytime. That's a great bet. That's a great bet. I do Prem and all the lower league divisions. Do you? Awesome, Ryan. Awesome. Studying the form, my friend. It was Villa in the week for 370 quid. Oh, that's a killer. Ted will tell you, Ted, who does be in the chat as well, he did a bet a few weeks ago and he was waiting on Anthony Gordon for 550 quid. And Anthony Gordon missed the penalty, if you remember. And then he missed a bag load of chances. How he didn't score, I don't know, but Ted was steaming over it. It was crazy how he missed one of the worst penalties you've ever seen from Anthony Gordon as well. Right, folks, I got to go. Enjoy your Halloween. Catch you tomorrow night, 7:30. The finale of the League of Ireland. What a season it's been. And we'll get your thoughts. We'll have fun in the chat and all that usual good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Make sure you end the night with 10 fingers and 10 toes. Don't do Atten City with fireworks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was. That was the one, I think it was. Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Take care, Niall, and chat. Awesome having you in, Ryan, as always. Join us all the time if you can. Really good. Touch us all soon, folks. Cheers.